pass, it will go. There'll be elections in Nigeria on Saturday, and you should decide to be a part of it. Today we are going to look at the general preparations for the elections. All around us, everything seems set. So, welcome to Situation Room on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. With me here today, I have Opeyemi Akiode. Opeyemi, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Muyiwa Adeyemi, who's another roommate, is just downstairs. He's coming up very soon. He'll be joining us. So, we're taking the cue from Mr. President. All is set. So, okay, it's all set.
Good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon, everyone listening to the sound of our voice today. It's Mela 98.3 FM special edition of the Situation Room for Thursday. And just like, the introduction had spelled it out clearly, in the next 48 hours or there or less, Nigerians would go to the polls, and it's been a very amazing journey. The build up, how we started out, the consultations before the primaries of all of the major political parties, the whole talks around Peter Obi when he left the PDP on the 8th of June, he officially declared for the Labour Party. We've gone through all of this process, and at different times, the chairman of INEC, Professor Yakub Mahmood, had come out to say that his agency is ready to follow the blueprint of President Muhammadu Buhari after he signed the electoral law early last year, where he said one of his legacies is to deliver a free, fair and credible election. That's one of the reasons why he signed the Electoral Act. The new development coming into the election, the introduction of technologies into the election, electronic transmission of results, the BVAS and all of that, it's been a long journey from here. How Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged, the whole conversation as regards Atiku Abubakar, Wike, all of these things. So, are we ready for election? The Inspector General of Police said deep for yesterday that they are ready, and then we saw all of the key political, persons in Abuja yesterday. The Kuka Foundation signing the second peace accord. We saw the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We saw all of the 18 political party presidential candidates and their running mates. We saw, General Yakubu Gowon retired, General Salam retired. We saw even Aliko Dangote was there. So it shows that, the federal government said they would make everything available for INEC to give us election. The question is this: INEC seems ready. They've started distributing, non-sensitive materials across all states. Well, I don't know if you can be perfectly ready, but all things being equal, I think the organizers of the election are ready. But the truth is this: the biggest players in this election, Nigerians, are we ready?
That's my
look
concern.
At the concerns. Look at the situation of the economy. People literally spend the entire day on queue waiting to collect just 3,000 naira. People are using 3,000 naira to collect 10,000 naira from point of sales operators. I mean, it's been crazy. Ideally, during build up to election, people will buy food stuff at home, buy things just to make sure that even this Saturday, let's spend 2-3 hours to exercise our franchise, then come back home and spend time with the family. But it's been really difficult, not just not having money, but not having access to money. So that's what you should focus on.
Okay, you are welcome.
Yeah.
I had told our people that you soon be here. Now the question is, we just have 48 hours before the elections. Elections, we have been preparing for this election for only God knows how.
For 4 years.
For 4 years, at least. Let's put a mark on it for 4 years. And later developments point to the fact that Nigerians must vote. What I mean by that is things look topsy-turvy and unorganized. But these are challenges that will always come. Do you think that this issue of Naira and whatever will affect not the politicians now, the voter?
Well, I think to say the conducive environment for election, I think for Nigerians, we are only stating the obvious, because it's not that conducive. Not in terms of war, not in terms of crisis, not in terms of, let's say, I think whether INEC prepared or not. Psychologically, I think what is everywhere now is the agony. as Okpe has rightly said. But by and large, we expect Nigerians to go out on Saturday to make a statement. We expect Nigerians to go out on Saturday to feel undeterred that no matter what the present situation, the challenges, no matter the challenges it's posing, I think they are determined to make a statement with their PVC. So certainly some Nigerians may feel disenchanted that if the government we voted for could treat us this way. I just wanted to drop a check in one of the old generation's bank now. I think it was like spending almost 2 hours to enter a branch that you hardly see people.
I want since the week started. I've been trying to apply for ATM somewhere.
No, just to
I can't even enter the bank.
I'm not collecting money.
like
I would have loved to collect 10,000 there.
Just to present check.
And it's one of the branches you don't normally see crowd. It's hardly you see crowd. All right. So just to drop in check. I think I spent 2 hours before I could be allowed to enter into the banking hall. And just to feel the whole process took me almost 3 hours. But while I was there, I met a middle of people outside that were not allowed to enter, and I were hearing people say they have been here 6, 7 a.m. Because this bank is paying 10,000 naira, 20 to 200 naira notes. If some people face those challenges today and tomorrow they want to go and cast their votes, what
will be in their minds?
What will be in their minds?
What will be their state of mind?
1, 2 is that if you have spent long hours on the queue to collect some banks 4,000, some 10,000. All right, if you stayed all the day on the queue today, spending 5, 7, 8 hours as case may be, just because you want to collect that meager amount, were you ready to go and stay the same number of
On Saturday?
On Saturday? So those are the issues that we will continue to look, but human beings are difficult to predict. So all these things may not deter them.
Yeah, but the question I've always, tried to ask is, yes, we have challenges, we have difficulties. You get to a time, even when challenges and difficulties become motivation to act.
Certainly, that's the point I'm making.
Yes.
That I think Nigerians will say, well, no, if this is what we do to get Buhari out, and they may fail it out, do you understand? We will do it. Do you understand? So that's why I say the environment is not that conducive. Do you understand?
Yes.
But I'm sure not all Nigerians will fold their hands. Not all Nigerians.
Yes.
So that is, action and reaction are equal and opposite, right? So once there's an action, there must be a reaction.
Seriously.
So Nigeria must react. No, I think it is to say they will not react. I think we are only begging the question, right? Nigerians will react, but how that reaction will come is what anybody may not be totally predict, but they will react. But I think Nigerians will go out and vote, no matter the situation. Because this is the election of this year. This election, I think the politicians have worked because they know that there is no room for ballot stuffing. So the politicians have worked. I think they've campaigned hard. Whether there are substance or not is another thing entirely.
That's the next question I was going to ask you. I just led me into that. The free and fair atmosphere INEC said we are providing for the elections. Do you think we have enough to give us confidence that the election will actually be free and fair this time around?
It's going to be very difficult to predict situations like this. The security agencies would do their best. INEC would also do their best. I told you about the fact that we're seeing the distribution of sensitive, non-sensitive materials already by INEC, and what that means is that everyone that started with responsibilities one way or the other about this election have promised, or let me say they've said they play their part. But we need to ask ourselves the fundamental questions. Even in this case where we don't have election, do we even have enough to secure the country? That's where we need to start from. Now, you're not having a midterm election in just one state. Simultaneously, 36 states and the FCT are talking about approximately about 60 million people. Looking at the data of people that picked up their PVCs, we're talking about a demographic that's got about 51.8% of them as young people between the ages of 18 and 35. We're looking at the demographic of the fact that over 50% of the people that collected it are students. That's the PVC according to INEX. So it's an election that is, I don't want to say I don't want to bring up the idea of militarization, but we've seen a lot of silent show of force. I mean, we've seen videos where officers in their hundreds are marching the street of Lagos. On Saturday, when one of our colleagues and myself were going right in front of the office here, we counted over 100 trucks, brand new 100 trucks, Nigerian Army. When I got to Bega, new sets were moving out of Lagos. So in terms of security, ideally the soldiers are not even supposed to be around they are not even supposed to come close to the polling unit and all of that. Even policemen are not even supposed to go to the polling unit armed. So what I'm supposed to do is just observe from a distance. I think about 10 meters rather, 10 liters petrol. But that's the distance. So for me, I think nobody will come out and tell you they are not ready. The Inspector General of Police will give you assurance that they are ready to secure the lives and properties of the people. Just that we would not experience voter apathy. This is my biggest fear in this election. Now, you look at the week to the election, 48 hours to the election. Some people don't even have an idea of how they want to feed this weekend. They don't have an idea of how they want to get money to take care. Even when the election had not come, people are struggling to get money. Now there's election. The economy literally shuts down for that period of election. Peradventure, the result is not even called on Monday or on Tuesday. It's going to take a long time. So, security-wise, which is obviously everybody's concerns, we saw reports that one of the political parties' senatorial candidate was shot yesterday in one of the southeastern states. I was just coming to that. And it was burnt. All of the occupants in it.
Violence again.
So we've seen all of that. We've seen reports of the PDP governorship candidates in Lagos attacked. Ones in Badagry, the most recently in Surulere. We've seen this pocket of attacks here and there at the security agencies. In short, do we even have enough manpower, to police during election period? But the question we have to ask ourselves is why do we even need to have police during election?
Muyiwa, two of you have always attacked me when I say to be able to, in other countries around us, that are far away from us, do we have to deploy soldiers in such large quantity or volume?
That's why
to conduct to secure our elections. When are we going to grow beyond this? Because the question always is, it is not INEC, it is not government that is causing the seemingly chaos. Thank you very much. But politicians and their followers. You understand it now. So the question has always been, is it?
Well, I think I don't know how to recruit new politicians. Because whoever you are recruiting is a product of society, and this society we are. I think these circumstances that bring violence should be looked into. I think that you see soldiers around. I think it does not mean that I think we are expecting violence, but there's no amount of security that is too much. I think in this kind of circumstances,
you can't take things for granted.
Because you can't take things for granted. I think what. We do know that we have some groups here and there that did not want election to hold. We have Yoruba decision groups in Southwest. We have IPOB that is threatening. Somebody saying that there should be sit at home since yesterday. The other time to come back to it. We have Boko Haram in the north to come back to it. We have bandits in the northwest. Yes, you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that seeing a soldier, I think soldiers and their trucks and let's say in show of force or whatever. So it does not mean that I think they're not of the polling voting centers. Check what you have in your vehicle. People are not expected to move around, but I think they are there to maintain law, to assure people that I think we are here to protect you. So I think people should not see police or soldiers moving around tomorrow on Saturday and be scared. No. So
we're used to it in this country. Soldiers and police and mobile police, they are always part of us.
Yes.
Part of our elections.
Yes.
Then let's look at it this way. Politicians we may have peaceful voting. We may have peaceful voting, but after the results, are our politicians ready to accept the results the way they are? Because from the campaigns, it's like every politician that has bought his phone, 100 million, 40 million, 20 million, has assumed that is it. He has won the election. Forgetting that there are 18 people competing for one position. Is there not enough fear? Looking at the language the politicians have used in campaigning, at a point people stop using if you elect me to when I will be elected, and followers are buying these languages, and this might lead to negative reaction. Are they ready? Because we might have peaceful election. Yes, peaceful election will throw up a very good candidate, but may not be your candidate, may not be my candidate, maybe the candidate we never expected, because we're expecting the ninth wonder of the world to happen. And what if it goes that way? Would the politician accept that this is Nigerians' voice?
There was a peace accord that was signed yesterday, and the essence of the peace accord is to bring commitments from every of the single candidates and their deputies, their party chairmen, their leadership structure of all the parties. Mr. President was also there yesterday. The idea is just to make sure that the people, the main players in this election, they get the message and they try to send it and pass it down to their foot soldiers, because I cannot remember ever seeing a presidential candidate go to snatch ballot box by himself. I've never seen a gubernatorial candidate do the same thing. So it is these boys most times overzealous supporters, and I understand the point you're coming in from. When you put in this mind into your followers, like, don't worry, this election we've covered it. We look at the polls, we look at this one, people are endorsing you, people are collapsing structure to support you. You have the support of the chairman, you have the support of the former governor. Like, you look at your political structure and you think you're good enough, and you're sending the message down to the people. So your followers go into the election with the mindset of, if we lose, that means they've rigged us. Yeah. So the moment you have that idea going into the election, you need the tiniest of trigger. You would explode. You would react. So elections can be a bit unpredictable. And I've just been pretty confident in the fact that this may be the freest and the fairest election we've had in a very long time. I've covered the election in 2011, saw 2015, I'm saying it and I'm saying it again. Economic-wise, that's where the challenge is. This in 2015, the environment for the 2015 election was more tense like this. Those were when bombing was at the height of it. I mean, in Jos, in Bauchi, you look at those areas were literally dead zones. But guess what? Throughout the campaign period, throughout the election period, there was not a single shot that was fired. Look at Anambra State. We don't have the threat of the IPOB then that there won't be an election. The election of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo went effortlessly smooth, even though it recorded the lowest turnout in the history of this country for a state governor's numbers, less than 300,000. That's pathetic. But going forward, I think you cannot put yourself in that place where you predict what is going to happen. So the leaders of those parties, they hold Nigerians the responsibility of and telling their supporters that this is not a do or die affair. If we lose this election today, we'll come back. Okay, if we lose this election and we're not comfortable, we have the courts to approach. If we want to serve the people, and if they say, you know what, we don't want to, but that mindset can only be in a state or in a position where their perception that they are level playing ground.
Exactly.
That when you lost this election, it wasn't because you were rigged out. It wasn't because numbers were fabricated for the person that won. It was because more people voted for him against you. We're going to see a lot of, kicks on the bookers this election. A lot of relatively unknown politicians were turned big. We saw it at the primaries, where people that nobody even knows their name picked up senatorial tickets in their state, picked up House of Reps tickets in their state. So for me, I think the leaders that signed those peace accords yesterday, by now, I expect their messages to be flying around. Talk to your followers. If we don't win this election today, there's still years ahead. We have young people on the ballot. The candidate of Accord Party is the youngest, Professor Christopher. And you could see the way these guys are relating. So my fear is this. if I use 100 million to collect presidential form,
you must become president.
And even the electoral law allows me to spend as much as 5 billion
Only.
just only. And even on before the primaries, just consultation alone, I've spent about 2 billion. Then the whole nationwide campaign and all of that, I've spent a lot of money. So I wake up one day and just like Mr. Muiwa always say, it's a winner take all kind of system that we have in this country. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Except you're in the ruling party, there's always a place they will fix you somehow. So until we have that mindset, like this is an election, you cannot force yourself to serve me. You say you want to serve me, and I say no. So the leaders have to do all of this, and then the media.
See, Muiwa, the what the world is expecting from us. If you look at the comment by these foreign observers yesterday, Nigeria should not disappoint the world. That is stated clearly. Now, every eye from international communities on Nigeria. We should not disappoint the world. Let's weigh in on the chances of not disappointing the world now. Now, we look at it this way. What are the really factors in this election? What are the factors in this election? Number one, we had the election in 1999. I think I'm right.
Yep.
Yeah. Thereafter in 2003. And then 2007, 2011, and
15.
So I got wise in 2011. Do you understand it now? So the same group of people, but not being able to solve the problems of this country. So what do you think? Because it's not a question of this is a tall man. This one resembles me. What are actually the things we need to solve with our next election so that Nigeria will be better than it was in 2019?
Well, I think what's the saying that things are evolving, whether we like it or not. When we started this democracy, this
Fourth Republic
in 1999, the election was very crude. All right, very crude, and there were little improvements in 2011, but not satisfactory enough.
Exactly.
But we were all here in 2011 when Yar'Adua, who was elected president, admitted to the public that the process that brought him, I think, was not clean enough.
Yes.
Was faulty, and we didn't remember that. I think he set up a justice ways committee that to reform the electoral process of Nigeria. So I think they came out with their recommendation and the kind of a thing. I think we had the election year that I think opposition won a ruling party. Nobody expected that to happen in Africa, and that election will not be annulled. Right? For I think
they won't be allowed it to complete.
We are talking for a ruling we are talking of a president that's seeking a second term.
Yes.
So that has completed his term, like Buhari we are having now.
Yes.
Jonathan was on the ballot, right? And the opposition party came and defeated him. And I think everyone
did not fall.
You understand? So would anybody imagine that in 1979, 1983?
So that's the point I'm raising for new politicians. Jonathan was a new politician, not the very old one that hardly died hard.
Are we saying Jonathan had been in this place since 1999 now?
Exactly.
He's the carryover from.
I'm coming.
It's the carryover from 79.
No.
That has spoiled this election.
I'm coming. Tinubu was not there in 1979, right? Atiku was not there in 1979.
Neither was Peter Obi.
So Atiku and Co emerged in the 80s. PDM. Do you understand?
Yes.
So in the 80s, they committed to 1993 election. Even 90, I go. So they were not in 1979, 83 scenario. Because they came up in 90s, right? So what the point I'm making is that to anybody to say that I think there hadn't been development. Do you understand? That means we are not checking our facts right. I'm telling you. So if against all expectations that a ruling, that a sitting president
was defeated,
and
he allowed the
system. Do you understand?
He allowed the country to conclude. Yes.
So talk less of now that a sitting president was not on the ballot. I'm coming now. if you're not looking at the electoral system, there have been a lot of reforms. And let me tell you something. About 2 weeks ago, I was, I think, at a meeting of one of the political parties in Lagos State. I think educating their polling agents. Do you understand? And the man that was educating them was a big lawyer and do many electoral whatever. And he was telling those guys there that please, our agents, this election is quite different from the previous election. He was now calling Baba Kede Kambe. This is not the time of Adiokun Bam Bam. Adiokun Bam Bam. You know, meaning that was Baba. If we mention the name of Baba, maybe the polling unit. The polling unit in his area, he will ensure the
complete the number.
That one can't happen now.
He was saying that that one can no longer happen.
Can no
longer happen. Work again. Okay, Baba kini go adi okure. They fill the ballot box. But that era is gone, and it was giving them the influence of what happened in Osun. Do you understand? To the extent of telling them that even the best you can do now is to ensure, if you are sure you are winning your polling unit, ensure that there was no excess vote of one. So that you should not allow someone to come and play games
not accredited
with
there.
presiding officer whatever. Don't understand, to ensure you have one, because once you had one,
it will be cancelled.
So to tell you that, I think there is going to be sanity to some extent. Do you understand? So, but when politicians always cut corners. So, but let's see how kind of game you want to play on this Saturday. But the era of snuffing is gone. The era of let's say snatching ballot boxes is gone, because right from there the result is already transmitted.
Yes.
To everywhere. So I think the beavers, I think the Electoral Act of 2002 to 2022 has done enough, and it's kind of a revolution. So today, this election is going to be the first election, national election, that I think the Nigerians are looking up forward to. At least that where they expect that votes will actually count, and the results actually might show the true reflection of how people cast their votes.
Okay. See my worry. My worry is I'm not so much worried with the system as much as with the individuals. Now, you said politicians will always cut corners.
Certainly.
No matter the technology, no matter whatever you put in place.
That one.
So what we are looking at now,
hand of God now.
No, there's VR now. That's the beaver. There's VR now.
Now we are talking of the individuals now. The system will be okay. The system, everything. But the politician trying to cut corners, we want to sidetrack the system, the technology, and still have his way, which is the main thing. Now, you are disagreeing with me that there has been no improvement in our electoral system. Now, remember, since 1999, there are some issues that would have warranted constitutional amendment. Up to today, it has
did not come up.
So there has to be something to show, not paper, not what is Yar'Adua amended. We set up a waste committee to reform 2022 electoral whatever. That's not the issue. The issue is that has Nigerians seen something tangible to look at? Industries have gone underground.
They folded up.
Nobody has removed. No politician has brought them up. Look at, we are talking about textile that day. They have gone. The Kingsway, the car around the Leventis, where are they? They have all gone. The Aswanis, where are they? They have all gone. The Michelin, the Dunlop, they have all gone. No matter, and these are, they need political, how do I call it now? Political will to bring all these things, but they are not. So these are what I call the issues in these elections. The issues that Nigerians are trying to solve, to tell us that we're actually making progress. Where's Ajakuta now? It's gone. Nothing is working.
You are talking. I'm coming. We are talking about electoral process. Do you understand?
No, I'm talking about whatever election we have had that will bring in some kind of people. The people we have brought in have not changed anything.
Well, I think that's also still subjective. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is subjective. let's be realistic with ourselves.
Okay, what have they brought? What new thing has happened? Nigeria Airways has gone.
I'm coming. Nigeria Airways have gone does not mean Nigeria does not have there are no airlines in Nigeria.
No,
but, I'm coming. No, but if you want to
I'm talking about the process of recruitment. People have visions.
I'm coming, please. Because we are on the eve of election.
Yes.
Do you understand? I don't want us to sound as if we are putting down we are putting down a political party, you understand, to the advantage of others. We have to be careful, right? If to be talking of development in Nigeria, I said it's relative. Do you understand? To some people, Nigeria has not done anything since 1960. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, I think they have their facts. I understand. But some people, they will tell you, do you see express road? Do you see universities? Do you see technology like this in 1960? That's another people. That's another people. Some people will tell you, I think it was the economy of Nigeria in 1960 or 1970 or 1999. So you understand? So what is the economy of Nigeria now in the global rating? So you understand? They will tell you all those things. They will tell you that, okay, how many roads are good as 1999?
And how many do we have that
are good now? Do you understand? So some people will tell you that how many TV stations or even private radio stations. Do you understand? We knew some people fought the battle to allow private stations to be in this country. It was before it was only government radio, government television. Do you understand? Some people fought it. So if they had not, if there was no development, you and I perhaps may not be here. Maybe you be in a Radio Lagos or another radio, the government establishment. What I'm saying is that it's subjective. Do you understand? We can say that we have not reached a stage of expectation, but to say that nothing happening at all, do you understand? No, many people will not want to agree with that one. To say no, it's like we are not growing at all. Do you understand? But the economy is easier. We are not saying we are progressing. No, it's just was to say we are progressing.
We are simply static.
But no, we cannot say you are static. Let's say that we did not reach a stage we thought we should have been. Yeah, I think that would have been better to be objective. That's what I'm saying. Because in this Nigeria we are talking about, some people, let's travel to other African countries and see development as well. Let's go to others. I'm not making case for the country, because we thought we are giant of Africa, right? The expectations are high, right? But we have not been able to have a government that will meet that expectation. But that does not mean that we are not moving. You understand? But not at the speed and rate.
Okay, thank you very much.
We should be moving.
Yes, okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. I want to ask you a personal question, and you must answer it very well. I'm a presidential candidate. What will make you vote for me? What will make you not to vote for me?
Well, I hope I will be as objective as I'm supposed to sound.
As you I want you to sound.
No.
Now, let's start from here. What is the essence of governance in the first place? It is to administer the people that have trusted you with their mandates. Governance is different from politics. Let's draw that line. So, each time people talk about the opposition not working, I'm always asking myself, what exactly do you need an opposition for?
You want them to fight.
You wake up every single day, you know the price of petrol. You don't need an opposition to tell you that it's easier to get dollar in Nigeria now than to get naira. You don't need the SUSIA to tell you the reason why students spent from 14th of February to 14th of October, public university students on strike. You don't need anybody to tell you that over 60 people were kidnapped along the Abuja-Kaduna rail and people had to pay ransom. At the end of the day, the government was able to negotiate the release of some of these people. You don't need the opposition to tell you that a lot of the Chibok girls have still not been found till now. You don't need anyone to tell you that Leah Shuaibu has still not been found till now. You don't need an opposition to tell you all of these problems that we are facing. So if you come to me as a presidential candidate and you want me to vote, I'm going to simply ask you, the basic for any government whatsoever is the protection of lives and properties of the citizens. So I think one thing I picked in all of this election is that we moved a little away from this is what we will do when we get into office. We saw candidates, especially with their blueprints, from Atiku Abubakar to Rabi Musa Kwankwaso to Peter Obi to Tinubu to Shore. They dropped their mandates on the basis of this is how we want to do the things that we want to do. That was established. So if it happened to be someone that would vote and you need my single vote, I would ask you, how do you intend to fix the economy of this country? Because once the economy of this country is stable, let's be sincere with ourselves, crime would reduce. Once people get job to put more food on their table, crime will reduce. Once people can wake up in the morning and they have naira that has big market value, crime will reduce. When you don't monetize politics as much as we're doing right now, crime will reduce, because people with creative minds will go into the house. You cannot deny the fact that there are a lot of people on these different political parties that have brilliant ideas, but they obviously don't have the money to oil their campaigns. That's why they probably would never win an election. So I would have asked you, how do you intend to fix the educational sector? Do you want to fully privatize it? How do you want to fix the infrastructure? Do you want to build low-cost housing estate for Nigerians to fix? How do you want to tackle the issue of the salary payments? I'm surprised anyways that some governors even have the guts to want to go to the Senate despite owing months of salaries unpaid. It's distasteful. So how do you want to do the things that you promise you want to do? I understand where Mr. Amiwa was coming from when he's talking about progress. Sometimes we make progress, we take one step forward, and then we take 50 steps backward. It doesn't mean we didn't take one step forward,
but we have cancelled the one step.
The retrogression is overshadowing the progress. I mean, you look at the second Niger bridge. It's a project that was abandoned. It was done in bits, but it's been completed and opened up. If you look around, Nigeria has the number 1, 2, 3 of the largest rice production mills, factories in sub-Saharan Africa. We have it in Nigeria. You look at few of these things, I totally understand. For an economy that is supposed to be microeconomic driven, you need the small scale business owners to also contribute their own to stimulate the growth of the economy. But those people are not there. How do you want to fix power? We've spent well over 10 trillion naira on the issue of power between when President Olusegun Obasanjo privatized the power sector to today. I think the only thing we've enjoyed was the nomenclature change from power to PACN, and that is the only thing. These same people that will not give you light, they will bring bills to you. So I would have asked you, how do you want to fix the power sector? How do you want to make sure that no Nigerian student that is not so fortunate with their parents being able to send them to private university will be denied the privilege of going to a public university by spending time at home?
Okay,
those are the questions I would ask you.
You've tried to do it. Meanwhile, the question is, which I'll keep asking, is we're not doing elections. I mean, we shouldn't be conducting elections just for the sake of conducting elections.
Yes.
That's what it seems now. You understand it that way? So it's like a ritual. Oh, okay. Let me.
Some people are already planning for 2017.
Exactly. This one. Let me.
Sorry, 2027.
It's like taking your bath, right? It's like you don't take your bath because you went out or you went to the farm. It's a ritual that you must take your bath. That's the kind of election we are having. Now, but we are looking at an objective election with a purpose. So in this election we are embarking on Saturday, what would be the objective of our voting? What would be our expectations from whoever we are going to? I mean, how many people? Three class of people: House of Reps, Senate, and the President. What would be our expectations from them? I want to hear.
Sorry, please. I think let's put it this way. Election, you should not see it as just a ritual.
It shouldn't have been, but it is now.
We should not see it, because if there was no election, Obasanjo perhaps would have still be on seat now. You understand? Because he tried third time, he failed, because we are operating constitutional democracy.
Yes.
So thank God for the election. Obasanjo will have still be there. If not because of election, Jonathan, with impunity, whatever he was accused of, will have still be in office. Even when he lost election, Urubebe drama was still very clear to us. You understand what I'm saying? Thank God there was an election. If there won't be election, a kind of a manipulation and the process and whatever happened in Aso Rock in the recent time, allegedly by the cabals, that wanted election to be shifted on kind of thing. Do you understand? There were allegations of all those things. So that won't be going to take election tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm saying? On Friday. So I said election will bring new set of people. Election will bring new set of, perhaps might improve whatever has been in existence. But let me tell you something. Adibi, there hadn't been a constitutional democracy that's given us election. Then Nigeria, perhaps, I don't know what would have been as the state of Nigeria by now. But we all know, even no matter how stupid the governor is, do you understand? We know in the next 4 years he will come back. Do you understand? No matter how naive as a silly man is,
he will
come back. Do you understand? I will face us. If Jonathan had done it better, do you understand?
We won't be
where he will not
right
come. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying? And on the Saturday, we expect, I think Nigerians, at least there should be a verdict on Buhari's 8 years. Do you understand? And we are talking about this verdict. Do you understand? Yes, there will be a referendum on it. But the result might be different from states and local government because of what we consider to be a government function. But let me tell you something. I still want to believe that if you look at the democracy we have, things are changing, not as expected. Only, I think I was in a television station, I think a few days ago, and we were looking at contracts, procurement, all those things. And I challenge anybody, even to the states, that how many stories of contract awarded, not executed, we have heard in recent times. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even to the states, that okay, this contract was awarded, contractor mobilized,
but we are not seeing,
and from that day nothing happened. Do you understand? Because it was a normal during Jonathan's regime, that including Obasanjo. Do you understand that contractors will be mobilized, and 6 years after they will
not even step on site.
Journalists were reporting that every time. But in the couple of years, I have not read one. I don't know, let's Google it if we are able to state them, because people realized from the mistake of that government. Do you understand? And they knew they didn't want to fall into that pitch again. So there was all of them were able to develop a kind of procurement system, a contract system that will not, do you understand, allow you give the contractor money and escape with that money. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying that what Buhari is doing now, the government coming also will have learned one or two things from his mistakes. He was far from being a perfect government. He was far from being an ideal government. Even he was far from being a good government. Do you understand? But few things he might have done good or better, people will learn from it, especially in the area of contract. Do you understand? I'm not saying they are not inflating contract too, because when they leave office, that's when we will see the result. But the idea of when the contract, giving the contractor money, and we won't see anything on site.
Okay.
But the next government will also form these mistakes. People have been the subject of campaign now. Whoever becomes the next president will not also want to fall into it. So Nigeria, that's how the country moves.
Progressively.
Yes.
Okay. We're at a point that we need to look forward. Nigeria is at, how do you call it now? VOD, value of decision.
Yes.
The Naira matter now. One of the reasons the president gave is that nobody should move large resources in his world around, trying, in his own words now, trying to influence elections. And it seemed to have, with the Supreme Court's position now, that is, okay, the judgment is on the 3rd, election is 25th. That means whatever it is the politicians have, they cannot use it for these elections. Now, I'm talking of the sustainability. It's not a law. After this time, the new Naira will come out and will be as voluminous as it used to be. How do we ensure sustainability of not buying vote action by this president?
I think willpower is very key in decision making when it comes to the interests of the populace. You have to consider all of their, their sentiments going forward. when President Muhammadu Buhari said he's committed to, giving Nigerians a free, fair, and credible election, we all thought it was just a political statement. We all felt, oh, you are no longer on the ballot. Why didn't you say this in 2019 when you were recontesting? We all thought it was going to be business as usual. You just made the talks and all of that. I won't be surprised if on Monday morning you suddenly hear that CBN had released 1 billion to banks across the country. The target perhaps is just the presidential election.
That's what I'm saying.
So
it's not
politicians have now divided different. See, let's get it straight. When people talk about vote buying, we always have this vague thought that vote buying is about giving people money on the queue. If I give you 5 cups of rice and 1 face cap, I'm buying vote from you.
With what did you buy that 5 face cap?
I can buy it in land quantity and transfer
to the person and distribute. It's money. So what I'm saying is that when we say vote buying, I mean the lawmakers are mostly the lawbreakers. No,
this is not talking about
the experience so far is that is the raw cash we are talking about. No. That you vote somebody from somewhere sees who voted for and
this policy had been on since October. Every smart politician will have moved for the other way to boycott all of these things. And we had unconfirmed reports, not even on the open space, that some candidates in their campaign office at the FCT were sharing foreign currency for people, envelopes with your name on it. You did not say we should not spend foreign currency. It's available. Like I said, it's easier for you to buy foreign currency at the black market now or at the bureau de change now down to buy naira. This is the crazy part of it. So where we need to focus is this. When you make a policy, election cycle is just a very short period of time, but you know very well that once election comes, it affects the daily life of people. When I was coming to the office this morning, I saw a long queue at a frozen store, frozen food store close to my house. I thought it was for the filling station beside it, queuing for fuel. So when I got to the filling station, there was fuel, but there was no queue. So I asked the bike man, what was those long queues, double parking? He said, Ghana, Korum, they buy fish and turkey. And I was like, with all of this queue, with all of this cash issue, there's this much. So I can imagine what the market will be like tomorrow when people want to buy stuff and keep at home. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, despite the fact that they said there's no money. So
no transfer.
So I think for me, President Muhammadu Buhari understood what he wanted to do with this policy. And I'm going to, like I said, and I'll continue to say this. Let's even wait till after 11th of March. You will see this new notes that people are carrying like gold, that people are forming God because they have it. It will be as silly as it was last year. I'm talking about having the currency. So at the end of the day, we need to make ourselves understand that whether you get mobilized or not, whatever decision you make on Saturday, whoever you choose to thumbprint for on Saturday. And by the way, you have to thumbprint right on Saturday. You must make sure that your king does not enter into the next line.
So 1 minute, Muyiwa. What I'm saying is this: if President Buhari succeeds with holding this naira back, it's not a law that in 2016, politicians will not spend the money.
Or in 2026.
Because in 2026, because it's not a law. So the president holds the money back, changes. So
I hope you've not forgotten.
Changes the naira now, change the color. In 2026, are we going to change currency?
Don't forget that some governors on the platform of the APC are already saying that if they win this election, they will reverse the policy. In fact, the presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party, Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, said it on Monday that he's also going to reverse this new naira policy.
That's my problem with old politicians.
No, please, no. See, so please, okay, I think if we continue to talk of this money issue, we are coming down to the level they thought.
They thought we were,
right? They are being naive. Sorry to say, because when you look at Rabi El-Rufai said it emphatically yesterday. There are many ways you can induce voters. Ordinary food in the northern part of the country, with Tuwo and the wherever and the Kono, they will vote for you. You will just tell them what they hear. Whether you give them Tuwo or not, they will vote for you. And we are thinking that the only thing that determines the victory in election now is how much you're able to spend to voters.
To induce voters.
No, please, let me quickly share my experience with voters. I was in Ekiti to monitor election and Osun. And I'm saying this. I was at Oluwa secondary school in Ado Ekiti. That's why they have the largest polling unit. We were there. APC was giving people between 7 and 10,000. PDP was giving, agents were giving people 5,000. And only SDP was giving people between 2 and 3,000.
And that is the level of the result.
No, I'm coming.
Only even came second.
I'm coming. I saw many people rejecting APC 7,000 to pick only 2,000 naira. And that we saw them. We saw people rejecting PDP 5,000 naira to pick only 2,000. And we saw people collecting APC's money. You know what I'm saying? And we asked them questions that their friends, they were friends. One picked
2,000.
The other one picked APC.
No, they picked PDP's 5,000. And I said, what happened? You guys, do you understand that you picked 2,000 and you had to go, you went to 5,000, and the person said, no, he said, this is my party. Do you understand? Whether they give me money,
I will vote for them.
I will vote for. So
that's just a bonus.
So that's just a bonus. And the same thing in Osun, if the amount of money spent to determine Osun election, Oyetola will not be in court struggling to have
they won.
So people, if Nigerians now begin to think that I think it's all Nigerians that we can buy with a 2,000, no, but it's playing an impact, right? But let me tell you one thing. $1 now in Nigeria is about 500 naira. $1
official rate.
No, in black market. No, $1. I'm talking of $1 notes.
Okay, just yes, okay.
Because it's not having that value as
100. Yes.
$10 is 570, 560. Do you understand? And you see somebody giving you $1 now. I think about 5 of it. You think it's giving you big money, but by the time you approach,
it's just 2,500.
Mala is 2,500 naira. Do you understand? And some people have it in thousands. Do you understand? Because nobody picks these dollars. It's only people in wealth giving change. Do you understand? That hold this $1, but they are in banks that nobody is picking, and people are already picking them. But what I'm saying is that the election, certainly. It's going to hold. We hope so. We pray so. But let there be peace.
Okay,
because there's life after election.
Thank you very much. Advise the voters what to do. Just 1 minute.
Well, in terms of how you eventually, carry out your duties, I've seen a lot of videos, sensitization, even to the grassroots by political parties, by National Orientation Agency, by INEC, on how people would thumbprint, which is very important because if you thumbprint while the ink was still wet and you flip your voter's card and your thumbprint moves even by the tiniest of line into the next slide, the next box, your vote is invalid. If you press 2 times on the same ballot paper, you voted party A and you still go and press party B, is invalid. If in the process of you voting, your ink mistakenly touches the cubicle, you cannot wipe it out. That one is gone.
Even while folding, be careful.
That's what I'm saying. While folding, the could so I think INEC has been able to do that.
I think the index finger is preferable.
Well, depend. More people always use the thumb, but the index finger is quite smaller.
Very small.
So it's even better.
You can accommodate it.
A lot of the videos I've seen, the demonstrations I've seen, they've mostly used the index finger now. That is tinier, so you can certainly go on it. So in the little way we can. And secondly, when you are going to the polls on Saturday, I know Nigerians want to go with their phones. They want to say, we are recording, we are monitoring election. Don't get confrontational with the security agents. We'll come back after.
Thank you very much, Muyiwa. Thank you very much, Okwe. That's part 1 of this program. Part 2 begins in the next 2 minutes after the news beat. And at that time, we will take your calls, make your contributions. As usual, let your calls be very brief, 60 seconds. And let the language be decent. And the number to call when eventually you return will be 0913 600 then 410. 0913 6000 410. Let me repeat. 0913 6000 410. That's the number you call. Thank you.
Our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show.
On mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. As usual, we'll be discussing the issue of election that will take place in another 2 days, another 48 hours. How ready are you as a person, as a voter? INEC is ready. Police people say they are ready. Every other person is ready. But how ready you are and what are the issues in the election concerning you? So, we're opening the line now to take your comments. As we said earlier, it should be very decent. Your language should be decent and should be brief, not more than 60 seconds. And the number to call is 0913-6000410. 0913-6000410. And that number will also take your comments on the WhatsApp. Hello.
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 Yes. Am I on the line?
Yes.
Joshua is my name. I'm calling from Ogudujiale.
Now, welcome
I'm
to the
listening
show.
to you right from the reception. Listen. There's no how a blind man can do high jumping. This nation is old enough to get the one who can control the steering of our nation. Listen, in other countries, our doctors here are not doctors. Other countries, they are productive. Our lawyer.
The line is not
General.
okay, go on.
They are all productive in other countries. But in this nation, they are not productive. Look at Atiku. Ask ourselves, what can he do that is still new now? Bola Tinubu, what can he do now, give us now, or is still new? Listen, the don't let us deceive ourselves again. Give them money to buy simply means he has nothing to offer tomorrow. You are buying the conscience, you buy the future, you buy the destiny of such a person. For you to offer me money, I know you are killing. Listen, our forefathers served the father of these people. We are serving them now. This is another platform for our children to serve their children. Where are the children of those people who are running after election? Who wants to be president now? Where are their children? Where is your children in the studio there? Where is my children? What is the future of the children of those people who want to be the president of this nation? And what is the future and the hope of my children tomorrow? Listen, this nation, we are running to a crash. If the steering of this nation is going to be run by the same person, Bola Tinubu has become governor twice. We know what happened. Let us still remain the same. Don't let us deceive ourselves.
Okay, just wrap up your thoughts.
So everything now is being run by the same person and the same person. Let us be wise.
Okay.
Let us be wise.
Thank you
Let
very
us
much.
open our eyes.
Thank you
Let
very
us
much.
open our conscience. Let us think about the future. Let us think about the future.
Thank you, Joshua.
Joshua, thank you for your comment. That's also okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, my name is Abimbola.
Abimbola, you are welcome. Where are you calling from? You continue, okay?
Yes, I just want to tell Nigerians to go out tomorrow and vote. To go out on Saturday and vote their conscience.
Yes. Thank you. That's short and good. Thank you very much. Yes. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dr. Okoko from Amuwo.
Okay.
And I've been listening to, thank you very much. And I've been carefully listening to your programs.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank your guests for the beautiful expose. While at the same time, I just want to quickly use this opportunity to encourage all Nigerians to go out and cast their vote on Saturday. The government has been able to provide and assure the necessary security. I don't think there will be anything a problem. This election is going to be one of the most peaceful elections so far. Irrespective of that, I just want to add to that this election is about a vote for the future of this country. And it's a vote for principle. This election has nothing to do with privileges. The reason why this country is it as it stands today is because privileges have been abused in the past. The generations of the past, the generations of our fathers have abused the privileges of their time, the time of their children, and they want to reap from the time of their grandchildren. So I want to seize this opportunity to encourage the youth, the young men and women, to seize this opportunity to go out on Saturday and cast their votes for the candidate of their choice. Be it Jagaban, be it Obi, be it Atiku, let it be for good and for the betterment of this country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah. God
Hello.
bless you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Okay. We'll take some messages now. We'll come back to the phone line later.
Milan FM.
Okay, you are welcome. This is
Yeah,
Milan.
this is Kabir, aka Paparazzi, calling from Bariga.
Okay, Kabir.
I just want to tell Nigerians to vote wisely on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to read their conscience. Don't vote the right person. Let Nigeria move forward. People should not let Nigeria down again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kabir. Hello? Okay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. My name is Ola. I'm calling from KC.
You are welcome, Ola.
Yeah, I want to thank Nigerians for the opportunity we have now. But what I'm saying is that these people that are giving people 20,000 naira to go and vote, collecting their voter's card and writing something and giving 20,000. Wait, sir, what is the implication of what they are doing, sir? I want you to educate us, because you see, as we're saying, as we go down, there are lots of people that are collecting money, giving them money 30,000 naira, collecting their voter's card and things like that. What is the implication? You don't know what exactly what they are doing. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
What I would just tell Nigerians and the government is that we need more police and then what they call them, soldier, to come and rescue us on Saturday.
Why?
Because we thank God that what's supposed to happen during this election has already happened last week. Because I believe that we've already survived this election now. But on Saturday, when they see that people are coming out to come and vote for their right or the main man they want to vote for, they might send thugs to come and scatter them. That is why I'm thinking that we need more personnel to come and rescue us. You know what I mean? These people will just be looking and be calling each other that things are changing now. Let's send somebody to go and scatter them. That is only my what I'm afraid of now. Look at the air refinery in Kaduna. So it's more than government. This is a big shame. It's a big shame. They want to change money for us to have a good plan for this country. And somebody called himself the governor saying that no, this is a big shame. Enough is enough. You know where we are going now. I'm begging Nigerians to vote wisely. To vote wisely to the right people, to the right person.
Ola,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Good evening, sir. My name is Noah from Sudere.
Thank you for us.
Thank you, sir. Hello, sir. I don't know what's going on. I still want to hear from Patambu, please, from Mowi. That's number one. Concerning this matter, I thank the first caller. God bless him. Even Nigeria do the same thing that I normally do. It's all of us. We are all here. Everyone will not fall. It will fall on top of all of us. We will decide to change all this way. Because I don't see what 10,000 will do my life. Even 100,000 will do my life for the next 4 years. But that's for me. I can't talk for that. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much for us. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I greet you, sir. My name is I'm beginning different stories. Are they giving people 10,000? It's an allegation. And at the end of the day, as many people have called, that they are still giving people buying votes. Where are they getting that money from? I don't know. Is it old notes or new notes? I think you journalists to ask that question. Where that thing is happening, let the corner just mention the place. At the end of the day, security will be listening. Because the way things are going now, even with the CDM policy, they still have money to buy votes. At the end of the day, they will give some people 10,000 naira. They ask you to bring your voter's card, PVC. They will write something on it. I think it's unacceptable. And you journalists, anybody that call and say they are boy, you let the person mention the place, the primary school or wherever the street, so that the security personnel will go there and track those people.
Well,
thank you very much.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah?
You know that polling is not going on today.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are calling from where?
Badagry area.
You are calling from Badagry. Other man called from Mowe. So if the man in Badagry sells his, they collect its PVC in Badagri. Another one collect the one in Mowe. The one collect this one in Lekki. So how do we know now?
That is true anyway, but it's becoming worrisome.
If there's polling now, I will ask, where are you calling from? I'm calling from Suliri. Then somebody can go there. But now we don't know where the polling, we don't know where they are. So just as you said earlier, it's an allegation. You know, and
Yes.
we had said earlier that the politicians will always go any lengths to subvert any law to favor them. So I think we just leave it like that. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm sorry. My name is Comrade Jiroko from Mexico.
Thank you, comrade.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your deliberation and the analysis from all our guests.
Thank you.
Help me to say thank you to them. I appreciate them.
Thank you.
Thank
They
you.
analyze well. But now, election is by the corner. It's almost 24 hours to this time. But I can imagine how Nigeria will be sure of our security, if not by ordinary mouth, because there are some advantage from speech and from implementing of activities. I'm sorry by saying this. President Aslan from Labour Party, he said something at the question and answer to their summit recently. And one thing I picked from what he said was that he said there are some places that he was supposed to go with some police and forces. And they said, Excellency, we cannot go to that place because we were not authorized to go to those places. I don't know. Because I want to be sure of this peace accord we just signed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we'll have to go to the phone lines now. To the Facebook to read some of the messages that you've dropped. Pretty long ones anyway. Nubudi Austin streaming us live on mainland 98.3 FM on Facebook says our politicians should prepare their minds now. Out of the many that is contesting, only one winner will emerge. Prepare your mind in case you did not win. Everybody cannot win the same time. Tell the supporters as well. Nubudi Austin still says, as you cast your vote on the 25th of February, note that our problem is not the name of a political party. They are not human beings in those parties. APC is doing very well in Lagos, PDP is doing very well in Rivers, APGA is doing very well in Anambra State. It is, after all, Labour Party was dormant before Peter Obi joined the party. Should he leave Labour Party now, that party will collapse. Therefore, it is not the party name but the individuals in the party. Consider past records of the candidates, competence, capacity, character and track records. You are free to make your choice. Allow others to make their choices as well. We all should not put our eggs in one basket, else it will boomerang. And when our candidates do not win, don't talk down on other candidates thinking that yours is the best. All the candidates are contesting to win. Above all, note that only one person will win the election. Prepare your mind rather, in case it is not your own favored candidate. There is a time, or there's always a next time. Another election would come in 4 years. Good luck to everyone. Thank you very much. Those are the messages on our Facebook. We'll go back to the phone lines. Hello. Okay, still with the messages. Munia Kolawole says, keep up the good work. We've already decided Nigeria needs a leader, a master planner, and a loving leader. A leader that has prepared for the task ahead. Our voice will be heard come 25th of this month. God bless Nigeria. Jato Musta Jesse says, why do people feel people will collect 2K and vote on the election day because they are hungry? I think anybody that does that just want to do it and not because of hunger. Jato Jesse from Shomolu. Father Oying says they should try and make 50, 100 and 200 available. Very plenty. Okay, I guess you're talking about the new note. So let's check the messages or the calls and let's see where we'll go from here. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show. Your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mr. Ike calling from Ibeju.
Okay, Mr. Ike, you're welcome.
Yeah, well done. You are doing a very nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, the APC candidate, Jagabanabi, PDP is Atiku. All of them, they are doing well. They are doing well. So we should see on Saturday. That is all.
Okay. Thank you very much. 0913600410. In case you just tuning in, you're live on Mela 98.3 FM, and this is the special edition Thursday of Situation Room from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And this is certainly going to be the last episode of the show till next week Thursday. Not Situation generally, but the Thursday edition. So in 48 hours time or less, Nigerians will go to the polls. That's exactly what we've been looking at on the show today. So we've got more calls to pick. 0913600410. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, you need to put down the volume of your radio set before you can talk to us. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. You are doing a good job, and I want to advise all the electorate that whosoever.
You didn't tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Well, my name is Godwin. I'm calling from Adjo.
Okay, you're welcome, Godwin.
Yes, what I want to advise is that whosoever wins the election, we should also accept it as the perfect will of God. Because all of us cannot win at the same time. We don't have any other country than Nigeria. I want to advise that when we go back, we let us accept it, so that we will not destroy what we have used our hands to build. Destroying banks, destroying roads, destroying facilities is giving us back. Let us accept the way the election will come, because there is always tomorrow. If you don't win today, tomorrow you will win. That is my advice.
Okay, thank you very much. 0913600410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Mercy.
Mercy, please, can you put down the volume of your radio set? I can still hear myself in the background.
Okay. Okay. Yes, heard them say that nobody should carry phone enter the chair.
I don't know about that. It's the cubicle, and you can make your political decision on your own. It's a secret ballot. Go home.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Kwame.
Good evening. Your name and where you calling from?
Joseph calling from Ajigule.
Okay, Joseph, you're welcome.
Yes, you see, for the food buying, it is very hard for one to detect. The way they are doing, I am surprised. I am saying this as a witness. You know, before they collected cards from people, the number. So what they are doing now is that they send people, like women, from East Street. They will come late in the evening and door by door to those that they can deceive. They give them money and they tell them they pass it to truth. Especially those women that have not listened to the radio, neither television. They say, many I witnessed is DDP. They say, fold the umbrella. They count number 6. That's what they say. So the way they do is what you cannot even know at all. So that is going on in Lagos now, as I'm talking to you. And again, as we are talking, we should put the area of sentiment aside. Because the Nigeria is going out of the way that we should seek the face of God to deliver us.
Okay, thank you.
If after what we are seeing now, and then somebody like this will still come, and then we see this kind of suffering again in the next 8 years, it will be very bad.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, just one more call before we call it a day on the show. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, your name and where you calling from?
This is Mr. Desmond calling from Oshodi.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You have given us the perfect advice, my brother. All the whole parties are running to rule me and you and Nigeria as a country. Whoever wins, what I'm begging for, we are lacking behind in the Committee of Nations. We are lacking behind in good roads. We are lacking behind in housing. We are talking about climate change. How are we prepared to meet up the climate change if it comes tomorrow? If Nigeria happens to be the place that snow will come tomorrow, are we prepared for it? Let's wake up. Whoever wins this election must develop Nigeria as a country, not an individual this time around. We need to wake up. We need to develop. We need to have life.
Thank you,
good
Mr.
roads,
Desmond.
health care. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, that will probably be the size of the package of the show today. But before we leave, I want to first off appreciate every single one that are taking their time to join us on the show today. I know we have loads of messages, a lot of calls that we couldn't pick. Tomorrow is Friday, and by the way, God's praying our lives. The public relations officer of the Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Uden, will be joining us live in the studio, and then we look at the preparation of the security agencies in Lagos ahead of the election. So I will have that conversation tomorrow. I was hoping we'll be able to get one or two persons from INEC and maybe one or two, non-governmental organizations or observers, just to, make us understand what we should expect on Saturday. That being said, however, I want to also tell you that in as much as we respect our political affiliation, we all don't have to be on the same political page when it comes to political parties. 18 of them. There was a time in this country we had almost 100 political parties. It still didn't guarantee that we'll get it right. But what I want to say is this. You've listened to all of these candidates. You've listened to them on TV. You've seen them probably on their rallies. They've talked to you. They've sent their agents to talk to you. This is the crucial moment where you need to sit back and ask yourself, why exactly are you voting? Are you voting just to tell the other person, oh, I told you we would win? This is not the reason to go into an election. Are you voting to say, oh, my party is supreme, our campaign strategy was better, our party has more money to spend than your party? No, that should never be a reason for you to go into an election. When you make informed decisions in respect to who you choose to preside over you, to govern over you, to legislate on your behalf, is a decision you need to sit yourself and ask, is this the right decision that I'm making? Will this, change the fortune of this country, that even if I don't benefit from it, my children and my grandchildren will also look and say, in 2023, we made a choice. And that choice is what brought the change that we want to see in Nigeria. My name is Opeyemi Akende. By Saturday again, God willing, we'll open the Ballot 23 studios as early as 7 a.m. And we can assure you that across all the state of the Federation, Mainland FM will bring you correspondents that would give us updates as regards what is going on in every of those states. So from Gombe to Kaduna, from Benue to every part of this country, Mainland FM has got you covered. Stay out of trouble, and remember, campaign ends tonight. So from tomorrow, your candidates will be resting and hoping that they've done enough to convince Nigerians to vote for them. Stay out of trouble, and don't forget that when you see something, you say something. Truly, Nigeria will win. Keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.